Man has his eyes on tech. Joining us from Agora Financial. Alan, what's up? I see you have a change of view. I like the city. Walk me through the overall market and what you're thinking first as equities try to break out of this range we've been in.
Right. Tech takeoff. We can't ignore this. It continues to go, go, go. Up 25% in the NDX, the big top 100 tech stock. So we want to talk about last week, because last week is a great example of what I try and do and use options as a vehicle. So we looked at AMD last week. In a modest move, it broke out of the wedge, up to the upside here. That was a range-bound stock that was laying in the weeds compared to the rest of the market. And a very small move saw a 50% gain in the option. Almost the exact same setup here. We're looking at MU right now instead of AMD. Looking at MU, this is a stock that's been trading roughly between 40 and 60 for the year. It did have that dip, but in the big picture, so 50 is the midpoint to lean on. And so that level of support is holding now. So I'm looking at an in-the-money option, just like we did with the AMD. Looking at the 45 call for August. It's got about 40 days. It's got an 80 delta. It's trading for about 7.5 or 8, but it's $7 in the money. So again, a stock substitution strategy, looking for this stock to play ball, and got some time. I'm seeing my smart money indicators tell me that somebody's interested in this stock, and you're seeing some accumulation in it, and you can see a great chart pattern that I like to chase.
Yeah, okay, so MICRON and the chips, we mentioned the analog devices deal this morning. Apparently there's still a good bit of fervor left in this more cyclical side of tech, not quite as frothy and explosive as the growth in social media names and stuff.
Right, it's unchanged in 2020 versus the NASDAQ, which is up 25%. So from a leverage standpoint, it has value as well. Again, what we're looking for is a modest move. If you look at this chart, if it takes out that 55, 56, this option will gain about 50%. So that's the way I like to position and play. And again, it's $7 in the money. So it's got a very, very small time value component. And if the stock stays here, what are we down? 50 cents, 75, $1 over the course of the next month and a half. So there's a lot of upside potential. And as I look at it, that 50 is a level of support, a super solid level of support as the midpoint for the year to lean on. So that's the way I like the position. Buys up a lot less money, has obviously limited risk, and I see great reward.
So just to point out again, you're going in the money by about $6 right now, even a little bit more.
At 52?
We're at 51.40 right now.
All right, so we backed up a little bit. Let's just split the difference. So we're almost $7 in the money and paying about $7.50 for an option. So that's the strategy. Obviously, if you wanted to buy the shares, this is not a complex option play. This is using an in-the-money option instead of buying the shares of stock. If you bought 100 shares of stock, how much money are you going to have to tie up? So versus this option is going to cost you $750. So it's essentially the same play, because that option is going to act like the stock. It's got a delta of 80%, and that's going to increase as the market continues to move higher. Yeah. So it's a very simple strategy. It's the way that I attack the markets and take advantage of the positive leverage of these in-the-money options.
Okay. MICRON right now poised to pop according to your indicators here, Alan. And the in-the-money...
If you're not long, you're wrong. Remember, we came up with that last week.
Hey, don't put... That's you. That's you, not me. All right.
Hey, the market went up 4% last week, so you would want to get in on the we, don't you?
Hey, I'll let you bull it up, Alan. I like it. I like it on a day, especially where markets are in the green still. Appreciate it, Alan Nuckman. Going long MICRON. When we get back, let's talk outside the U.S. We've got gains in emerging markets. Copper's on the move. It's been beating